Hey good souls, the sun rises again. Before your phone whispers, before the world insists on an identity for you, there is one tiny window of freedom. A single moment when your mind still belongs to you. That moment decides the day. Words are not empty sounds. They're seeds. You plant them in the soil of your mind, and they grow into the life you live. Say defeat enough times, and your days turn into defeat. Say strength enough times, and you begin to bend the world towards strength. Words are architects. They choose walls and windows, rooms and hallways. They build your inner house. The ancients understood this. Marcus Aurelius, a general, an emperor, a man with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." He didn't say it because he loved thinking. He said it because he knew thought shapes fate. The battle you fight every day is fought first in the theater of your mind. How you speak to yourself at sunrise is the unofficial declaration of war or peace for the rest of your day. Most people surrender this moment without knowing it. They reach for their phones and hand over their morning to headlines, to other people's worries, to curated lives that whisper comparison into their ears. They let yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's fears occupy their first breath. They give away their morning. They give away their day. They give away themselves. But you're here because something inside you refuses that trade. You want more than reactivity. You want intention. That's where this begins. Science backs it up. Our brains are not fixed. Neuroplasticity shows that the mind rewires itself around what we give it. Say a line often enough and you carve a road for your thoughts. Repeat a belief, and your brain builds a highway for it. Your morning words are the first meal your consciousness eats. If it's junk, your appetite grows for junk. If it's nourishing, your whole day digests strength. So we're not doing tricks or empty slogans. We're doing architecture. We're laying beams and foundations. 5 words, simple, powerful, spoken every morning with conviction. Not once for magic, not occasionally for wishful thinking. Repeated, embodied, lived. These words begin rewiring the mind. They start new neural roads. Over time, those roads become the default. Today, I give you the first of those words and the first practice, an identity shift and a pause that changes everything. Affirmation 1, I choose my response. Understand this, life will hit you. That is not maybe, it is certain. Your body will ache. Plans will crack. People you trust will fail you. Opportunities will vanish. But those events do not decide your life. What decides your life is the space between stimulus and action. And in that gap is your power. Viktor Frankl, who survived the worst of humanity, wrote about that space. He said there is a space between stimulus and response, and in that space lies your freedom. That is the Stoic truth in action. Epictetus taught it first in calmer words. We don't control events, but we control our judgments. When you wake up and say, I choose my response, you make a claim. You're not a puppet of circumstance. You are the author of your reaction. Your phone buzzes with bad news. The old reflex is panic. The new reflex is a pause, a breath, a choice. Not suppression of feeling. You feel, but you do not obey every feeling. See the power here? A pause gives room for reason. A pause turns shock into strategy. A pause prevents one bad text, one bad headline, one setback from consuming the entire day. Saying those 4 words each morning trains your nervous system. It builds a habit. When real tests come, a betrayal, a setback, a sudden loss, your mind remembers the morning practice. The space appears. You act with clarity instead of with raw impulse. Practical. Tomorrow morning, before light becomes a noise, before the screen calls you, say slowly and clearly, I choose my response. Mean it, feel the weight. When the day tests you, remember the sentence. Use the pause. Ask which response preserves dignity, growth, purpose. You are not trying to erase pain. You are learning how to move through it with agency. Say it now. I choose my response. Feel it land. This is not a slogan. It's a new wiring. Now that you own the pause, the next truth awaits. Pain is not the enemy. Discomfort is the door. Pain is not your enemy. Discomfort is not a punishment. It is the doorway to transformation, the invitation every human receives and most refuse to answer. When you say the words "growth lives here," you are making a declaration. You are telling your mind, this moment, this challenge, this friction, this fear is not here to destroy me. It is here to shape me. The world trains us to escape pain. We reach for comfort, for distraction, for anything that numbs the sting of reality. But comfort left unchecked becomes a cage. It softens the will and dulls the edge of your potential. People stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, routines that shrink them, all in the name of comfort. They call it stability, but really it's fear dressed in routine. The Stoics knew better. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." They understood that the same resistance that tears a muscle builds it. Growth is not a clean process. It is friction. It is breaking, reforming, hardening, refining. When you wake up and say, "Growth lives here," you are rewiring the way your brain interprets pain. Your nervous system has one goal: to protect you. It wants safety, sameness, predictability. But the same mechanism that keeps you safe also keeps you small. Every time you step outside of what's familiar, your mind sends alarms. Fear, anxiety, discomfort. They're not signs of danger. They're signals that you're entering new territory. Growth begins the moment you stop running from those signals. You don't need to love the discomfort. You only need to recognize it as necessary. Think about this. You sit down to learn something new, a skill, a craft, a language. At first it's awkward. The mind fumbles. You feel stupid. That's not failure. That's the sound of your brain rewiring itself. Neurons are firing, building new connections, creating roads where there were none before. This is the physical reality of mental growth, and it only happens when you stay in the discomfort long enough for the mind to adapt. Or maybe your discomfort is emotional. You need to set a boundary with someone you care about. Every part of you trembles at the thought. You fear rejection, misunderstanding, conflict. But that fear is proof that you're breaking a pattern. It's not weakness. It's transformation in motion. When you choose the hard conversation instead of the silent resentment, you teach your brain that honesty is safer than suppression. That's growth. That's rewiring. Epictetus knew it well. He was born a slave. His body belonged to another man, but his mind was free. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." He took what was meant to crush him and turned it into a philosophy that still liberates people 2,000 years later. He didn't grow in comfort, he grew in chains. And in doing so, he proved that growth has nothing to do with your circumstances and everything to do with your perception. So tomorrow morning, when you rise, say it before the noise of the world touches you. Say it like a command. Growth lives here. Say it when the day feels heavy. Say it when everything goes wrong. Say it when you're scared, uncertain, tired, or broken. Because those are the moments that count. Those are the moments when the old self wants to run, and the new self is begging to emerge. Growth doesn't happen in ease. It happens in the stretch, in the pause between who you were and who you're becoming. Every tear, every frustration, every failure, they are not dead ends. They are signs that you are moving forward. If you can see discomfort as sacred, then pain becomes purpose. If you can see struggle as training, then nothing can stop you. Say it again now. Growth lives here. Let the words settle into your bones. Because the truth is simple. Everything you are seeking lives on the other side of discomfort. And you've already started walking toward it. You've learned to see challenge as growth. Now it's time to master the one dimension most people ignore: time itself. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow hasn't arrived. But today, this moment, this breath is alive. And it's the only piece of time that ever truly belongs to you. When you wake up and say, "Today matters most," you are reclaiming something most people have lost: presence. The Stoics called it confinium praesentis, the confinement to the present. Not as a punishment, but as freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." He ruled armies, commanded an empire, and faced betrayal, war, and loss. Yet he understood that the only moment with real power is now. Most people live everywhere except here. Their minds are stuck in yesterday, reliving mistakes, rewriting words they can't unsay, replaying moments that no longer exist. Or they live in tomorrow, building imaginary disasters, rehearsing problems that haven't happened, worrying about what might go wrong. And in doing so, they miss the only place where life actually happens: today. The past is a teacher, not a home. The future is a direction, not a dwelling. But the present is where you create both. When you wake up and whisper, "Today matters most," you remind your brain to stop splitting its attention. You stop bleeding energy into ghosts of the past and fantasies of the future. You come home to now. Let's be practical. You wake up, and before your feet hit the ground, anxiety hits first. Your mind jumps ahead. Work deadlines, bills, conversations you're dreading, problems waiting to unfold. You've already lived 5 days in your head before sunrise. No wonder you feel tired. But you pause. You breathe. You say it slowly, clearly, "Today matters most." And something shifts. Your focus narrows. The mountain of future tasks shrinks to what can be done now. One step, one act, one moment. The mind quiets because it no longer needs to solve what doesn't exist yet. That is presence. That is power. The same truth applies to regret. You cannot change a single moment of what's already written. You can't unsay the word or undo the decision. You can only decide what kind of person you'll be after it. Today matters most is your permission to release the past, not to forget it, but to free yourself from being chained to it. The past exists as memory. It should not exist as your master. When you stop dragging yesterday behind you, your steps become lighter. You start seeing clearly again, not through the lens of who you were, but through the vision of who you can still become. Seneca understood this. He was exiled, stripped of position, condemned to solitude. He could have drowned in bitterness or fear. Instead, he used that time to write, to reflect, to master his thoughts. He said, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Each day a complete life. Each sunrise a rebirth. Each sunset a completion. And in between, everything that matters." If you live that way, if you treat today as your only lifetime, every moment becomes sacred. Your conversations become deeper. Your attention becomes sharper. Your actions become intentional. You stop performing and start living. When you eat, you taste it. When you speak, you mean it. When you rest completely. That's not minimalism, that's mastery. The present moment is not small, it's infinite. It's the only place your power can ever exist. So tomorrow morning, before the noise floods in, look at the light entering your room and say it. Today matters most. Say it until your heart believes it. Say it until your mind stops wandering and your body feels calm. Because if you learn to live fully in today, Your tomorrows take care of themselves. And your yesterdays, they finally rest, breathe, be here. Now is all there ever was, and it's all you'll ever need. But the world still tells you that who you are is never enough. That's the next illusion to destroy. You've spent most of your life trying to earn what you already have, worth. You chase it through achievement, approval, comparison, perfection. You've been told that peace comes after success, that self-love comes after improvement, that happiness comes after validation. But that's the lie the world sells, and it's time to let it die. When you wake up and say, "I am enough," you're not pretending to be perfect. You're remembering that you were never required to be. Every message around you says the opposite. Advertisements whisper that you're incomplete until you buy something. Social media shows endless highlight reels of other people's lives, filtered, polished, edited, and calls it reality. You scroll and measure yourself against illusions. Every image tells you you need to be more successful, more beautiful, more productive, more like them. And slowly you start believing it. You start living like you're a problem that needs to be fixed. But you are not a problem. You are a process. And that process is already enough. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." The Stoics understood what modern life keeps forgetting, that contentment is not laziness, it's clarity. When you realize that you already have what matters, the noise loses its grip on you. Saying "I am enough" every morning is not a motivational trick. It's a reset. It's a reminder that your value existed before your victories, before your failures, before anyone's opinion of you. You came into this world as enough. No baby questions their right to exist. No child asks for permission to be loved. That natural sense of worth gets buried under layers of conditioning. Voices that told you to do more, be better, look different, prove yourself. But beneath all that, the truth never changed. "I am enough" is your way back to it. When you say it, you're building a boundary in your mind, a line that separates your worth from your performance. It's not about giving up on growth. It's about growing from wholeness, not from lack. Because here's the paradox. When you stop chasing worth, you actually grow faster. When you stop believing you're broken, you start building from strength, not fear. Progress becomes joy instead of punishment. Think about it like this. A tree doesn't try to be another tree. It grows because that's what it's meant to do. Its growth isn't proof of worth. It's an expression of it. You're the same. Your worth is your root. Your growth is your reach. Now imagine this. You wake up tomorrow, and before you reach for your phone, before the world tells you who to be, you whisper, "I am enough." You feel the tension in your shoulders ease. You stop rushing for no reason. You breathe. You start your day not from scarcity, but from stability. Then someone criticizes you. In the past, their words might have ruined your mood. You'd replay them for hours, trying to fix yourself to fit their image. But not anymore. Because you've already spoken the truth that protects you. "I am enough." Their opinion becomes just that. An opinion, not a sentence. And when you fail, because everyone does, you no longer collapse. You learn, you adapt, but you never question your worth again. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." He ruled armies and nations, yet his peace didn't come from his empire. It came from acceptance. You don't need to earn peace. You need to stop giving it away to voices that never built you. So say it again, and this time mean it. "I am enough." Not someday, not when things get better, not after you fix yourself, now. Because the moment you believe you are enough, you stop living for approval and start living with alignment. And alignment not achievement, is what makes life feel whole. You've reclaimed your worth. Now comes the final discipline, releasing control. Because even when you know your value, the mind still wants to dictate every outcome, to grip life until it breaks. You've held on long enough. You've gripped outcomes, timelines, people, and plans until your hands ached. You've tried to manage everything, to predict, to perfect, to protect. And now you're tired. Not weak, not lazy, just exhausted from fighting battles that were never yours to win. When you wake up and say, I release control, you're not giving up. You're giving over. You're choosing peace over panic, trust over tension, presence over perfection. The modern world worships control. We plan, predict, and measure every step as if life is a spreadsheet that must balance. We believe that if we just work harder, think smarter, prepare more, we can outmaneuver uncertainty. But life is not a system to be solved. It's an ocean, and the more tightly you try to hold the water, the faster it slips through your fingers. The Stoics understood this truth long before technology complicated it. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." That single sentence is the foundation of freedom. There is what you control, and there is everything else. And everything else is almost everything. When you say, I release control, you are drawing that line in your mind. On one side, your actions, your words, your effort, your attitude. On the other, the outcome, the response, the timing, the world. The first side is your power. The second side is your peace. Because trying to control what isn't yours doesn't make life safer. It makes it smaller. Think about the things you've tried to control. Someone else's choices, their feelings, their pace, their understanding of you. You've spent sleepless nights rehearsing conversations, predicting reactions, preparing for problems that never came. That's not control, that's captivity. When you wake up and say, I release control, you're freeing yourself from that mental prison. You're not saying, I don't care. You're saying, I will care without clinging. You're saying, I will give my best and then I will rest. There's a quiet strength in that. The same kind Marcus Aurelius carried through plagues, betrayals, and war. He wrote, you always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you cannot control. Imagine that, leading armies, facing death, yet remaining unshaken because he knew the difference between what could be guided and what must simply be met. That's the art of surrender, not passivity but partnership with life. You do your part and you let life do its part. You act with intention and then you release expectation. You replace gripping with grounding. Here's what that looks like in real life. You love someone who's struggling. You've said the right words, offered support, prayed, hoped, but they're still lost. The old you would keep pushing, keep fixing, keep carrying a burden that was never yours. But the rewired you pauses. You whisper, I release control, and something shifts. The tension eases. You can love them without losing yourself. Or maybe it's time you can't control. You thought you'd be further by now, in career, in healing, in purpose. But doors stayed closed, plans unraveled. You start questioning everything, thinking you must have done something wrong. You haven't. You're just living in reality, not a schedule. Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Your job is the preparation, the timing, that belongs to something larger. When you say, I release control, you're not choosing chaos. You're choosing trust. The trust that you'll meet whatever comes with the same strength you've been building all along. So tomorrow morning, before the noise and the plans, before the world demands certainty, say it aloud, I release control. Say it until you feel your breath deepen. Say it until your shoulders drop. Say it until peace replaces pressure. You're not losing power, you're reclaiming it. Because nothing is more powerful than the mind that can let go. Remember, you influence many things, but you control very few. Master your influence, release the rest, and you'll find that peace was waiting for you all along, in the space that control once occupied. You've learned to choose, to grow, to stay present, to feel enough, and to let go. But the journey doesn't end here, it deepens. Because now you must live what you've learned. Your mind is the architect of your life. Every thought, every word, every reaction, a brick. Every repetition, a wall. And over time, those walls shape the house you live in. The beliefs, the habits, the emotions that form your reality. The problem is, most people never designed that house consciously. It was built by accident, with blueprints borrowed from other people. Parents, teachers, strangers, social media, culture, all whispering beliefs that became foundations. You're not good enough. You need more. You must be perfect. You can't fail. And now, without realizing it, many live inside a mental structure built on fear instead of freedom. But here's the truth. What was built can be rebuilt. What was wired can be rewired. And it begins not with force, but with awareness. When you say your 5 affirmations every morning, I choose my response. Growth lives here. Today matters most. I am enough. I release control. You're not repeating words. You're redrawing blueprints. You're building a new internal structure designed on purpose, not by accident. Neuroscience has proven what the Stoics knew intuitively. Your brain changes based on what it repeats. Neuroplasticity means that every thought you rehearse strengthens certain neural pathways. The more you think something, the easier it becomes to think it again. That's why worry feels automatic. You've practiced it for years. That's why negativity feels natural. It's been wired into habit. But the same law that built the problem can build the solution. Every morning you choose your words. You're laying down a new mental road. Every time you act on those words, you pave it. Every time you persist through discomfort, you reinforce it. And eventually, those new roads become highways. Instinctive, automatic, unstoppable. This is how mastery happens. Slowly, quietly, deliberately. You can think of it like training an inner warrior. The old mind reacts. The new mind responds. The old mind resists pain. The new mind grows through it. The old mind drifts into the future. The new mind stands firm in today. The old mind chases validation. The new mind remembers it's already enough. The old mind demands control. The new mind finds peace in surrender. That is the architecture of a rewired mind, built not on fear, but on focus. Here's how it unfolds in real life. One day, something goes wrong. Maybe small, maybe big. The old you would panic, spiral, lash out, but the new you, the rewired you, pauses. You take a breath. You hear the quiet echo, I choose my response. You remember growth lives here. You focus on the only thing real, today matters most. You center yourself in worth, I am enough. You let go of the rest, I release control. And suddenly, what used to break you barely shakes you. That's not magic. That's rewiring. Over time, this becomes your new normal. People around you will notice the difference. They'll sense a calmness they can't explain, a composure that feels like quiet authority. You'll handle conflict with clarity, pressure with patience, setbacks with strength. Not because life gets easier, but because you get steadier. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is the foundation of this entire practice. It's not about controlling the world. It's about mastering your own inner architecture so completely that the world no longer controls you. But remember this, rewiring is not a one-time act. It's daily construction. Every morning is a new blueprint. Every choice is a new brick. And every word you speak to yourself is either building peace or reinforcing chaos. So build wisely, speak deliberately, because your mind is listening always. Tomorrow morning, before your feet touch the ground, say the words. Say them like you mean them. Say them until they become you. I choose my response. Growth lives here. Today matters most. I am enough. I release control. That's not just a mantra, that's your design. The blueprint of a mind that no longer reacts to the world, but rules it quietly. You've built the architecture, but every structure needs protection. The next step is learning how to defend your peace. You've rebuilt your mind. You've learned to choose your response, to grow through pain, to live in the present, to know your worth, and to release control. But now comes the most difficult discipline of all, protecting what you've built. Because peace, once found, does not stay by accident. It must be guarded every day, every moment. The world will try to steal it back, not through obvious chaos, but through subtle distractions. A careless comment, a scroll that lasts too long, a comparison that stings, a habit that numbs. Peace doesn't disappear in explosions, it fades in whispers. That's why you must defend it like a kingdom, not with walls of pride, but with boundaries of awareness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do. Only what you do." He understood what most never learn. Your peace is not stolen, it's surrendered. Every time you overreact, overthink, or overexplain, you hand over a piece of it. Every time you argue to be understood instead of choosing silence, you trade clarity for chaos. Protecting your peace starts with remembering this. You are not responsible for everything you hear, see, or feel. You are responsible for how long you let it live inside you. Imagine this. Your mind is a room. Every thought, every person, every emotion that enters either cleans it or clutters it. And most people leave their door wide open. Anyone can walk in, and noise, gossip, judgment, fear. No wonder they can't think clearly. Protecting your peace is closing that door. It's not isolation, it's filtration. It's choosing what earns access to your attention. Here's how that looks in practice. You wake up and instead of scrolling, you sit in silence even for a minute. That moment becomes armor. It centers you before the world demands reaction, or someone tries to pull you into drama. The old you might have jumped in eager to fix or defend, but now you pause. You remember not every battle deserves your sword. Some are designed only to drain you. So you smile, say little, and move on. That's not weakness, that's mastery. Seneca said, "If you wish to be loved, love yourself." To protect your peace, you must love yourself enough to disappoint others. Because sometimes choosing calm means saying no. It means leaving messages unanswered, conversations unfinished, expectations unmet. And that's okay. You are not responsible for keeping everyone comfortable. You are responsible for keeping yourself conscious. When you protect your peace, you reclaim time that used to be wasted on worry, anger, or noise. You begin to see the world differently. The same chaos still exists, but it no longer lives inside you. You stop reacting to every wave because you've learned to become the ocean. And this doesn't mean you'll never feel anger or sadness again. You will, but you'll feel them differently, students, with awareness. You'll observe emotions without letting them own you. You'll use them as data, not direction. That's the secret of emotional maturity. Not suppression, but self-command. Protecting your peace is not retreating from life. It's engaging with it from a higher state. It's walking through noise without absorbing it. It's being surrounded by storms and staying dry. So tomorrow, When you wake up, guard the silence that starts your day. Don't rush to react. Don't reach for chaos. Let your peace be the filter through which everything passes. Ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? If it doesn't, let it go. Because the more selective you become with your attention, the stronger your focus becomes, and the more untouchable your peace grows. Say it now quietly. My peace is my power. Let those words become your shield. Because a calm mind cannot be controlled. A peaceful soul cannot be provoked. And a person who protects their peace protects everything that matters. You've learned how to protect your peace. Now it's time to live with purpose. Everything you've learned until now, the affirmations, the awareness, the calm, they all lead here. Because a rewired mind is not just meant to survive life. It's meant to live it, deliberately, deeply with purpose. Purpose is not something you find. It's something you create, moment by moment, choice by choice. It's not a title or a destination. It's the energy behind how you show up for the day in front of you. You see, most people are waiting for their purpose to appear, like a gift delivered by destiny. They tell themselves they'll start once they have clarity, once the fear fades, once they feel ready. But waiting has never built anything. Purpose doesn't come from thought. It comes from movement, from taking one meaningful step, then another, then another. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." He didn't mean we should rush. He meant we should choose. To live with purpose is to stop drifting through the hours and start directing them. So what does that look like? It looks like waking up with intention instead of impulse. It looks like beginning your day not with noise, but with direction. It looks like deciding that today, not someday, is where your power lives. A purposeful life doesn't mean a perfect one. It means a present one. It means doing what matters, even when no one notices. It means showing up for small tasks with great attention. It means treating every choice like a brushstroke in the painting of your existence. When you live with purpose, even ordinary moments become sacred. The way you breathe, the way you speak, the way you walk, all carry presence. You stop searching for meaning and start creating it. Because purpose isn't found in things. It's felt in being. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's purpose, action over analysis. Not waiting for permission, but giving yourself the command. And the truth is, purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be quiet. It can be simple. It can be as small as helping one person breathe easier, or as vast as dedicating your life to an idea. What matters is that it's yours. When your purpose is clear, distraction loses its power. Because purpose gives direction, and direction gives peace. The mind that knows what it's aiming for stops chasing everything else. But to live this way, you must remember everything you've learned. Choose your response, because purpose requires calm under pressure. Grow through discomfort, because purpose demands evolution. Stay in today, because purpose only lives in the present. Know your worth, because purpose flows from wholeness, not need. Release control, because purpose is expressed through trust, not tension. Protect your peace, because purpose cannot thrive in chaos. Every one of these lessons forms a circle, a system of strength that sustains itself. And at the center of that circle is you, awake, aware, unshakable. The Stoics believed that a person's purpose was not to escape life's trials, but to meet them with virtue, courage, wisdom, temperance, justice. Those are not ancient ideals. They are modern necessities. In a noisy, distracted world, to live with virtue is rebellion. To live with purpose is power. So tomorrow morning, when the sun rises and the world begins again, don't rush to find meaning. Bring it. When you say your affirmations, say them not as words, but as principles. Because purpose doesn't come from speaking once. It comes from living repeatedly until the life you desire becomes the life you are. You are the author of your days, the sculptor of your mind, the commander of your response, the guardian of your peace, and the builder of your purpose. So go live it, fully, quietly, bravely. Let the noise exist, but don't let it guide you. Let the world spin, but keep your stillness. Let time move, but make it matter. Say it one last time, I choose my response. Growth lives here. Today matters most. I am enough. I release control. That is not the end. That is the beginning. The foundation of a life lived on purpose. This is your reminder. Purpose isn't found in the future. It's built in how you live today. So if this message resonated, take a breath, take action, and take back your mind. Like a comment your affirmation, and share this with someone ready to rise with you. Because the journey doesn't end here. It begins now. Your purpose is waiting in the present. The screen fades to black. A slow heartbeat echoes, and a voice speaks softly. You've walked through silence. You've fought the noise. You've unlearned what the world taught you to believe about yourself. And somewhere along the way, you stopped surviving and started seeing. The truth is simple. The world doesn't change when you wake up. You change, and then the world starts to respond differently. Because when your mind is still, your choices sharpen. When your peace is protected, your power expands. When you stop chasing control, life starts to move with you instead of against you. This is what it means to be free. Not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of response. Every word you've spoken, every affirmation, was never about changing the world. It was about changing the way you see it. Because when your vision changes, everything else follows. The ancient Stoics called it ataraxia, unshakable calm. The warriors of old called it discipline of mind. But you know it now as something simpler, clarity. That's what you've built here. Not motivation, not temporary fire, but the steady heat of awareness that never goes out. So as this message ends, don't rush back into the noise. Stay here for a moment, breathe, listen to the silence. Because that silence, that stillness, that's you. Unfiltered, untouched, awake. You don't need to prove your strength anymore. You don't need to chase what's already inside you. You've remembered what the world tried to make you forget, that your mind is your greatest weapon and peace is your sharpest blade. So when you step into tomorrow, do it differently. Don't move like you're searching for something. Move like you've already found it, because you have. This is your new beginning. Not a moment of hype, but a lifetime of clarity. And as you walk forward, remember these words. Say them until they become the rhythm of your existence. I choose my response. Growth lives here. Today matters most. I am enough. I release control. Now, go live it, calm, cold, deliberate, unshakable. Your mind is your kingdom. Protect it, rule it, build your world from within.